this victim mentality.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are they choosing that? Yes or no?
Hi, this is Jordan Hill with Dirt to Sky Business Podcast. And thank you to today's sponsors, Embraced, Age Prepared, and Beautiful Blinds and Beyond. I am really excited because I am here today with the legendary Brad Lea. How are you today?
Good. Legendary, huh? I like that.
Pretty legendary, at least in the business world for sure.
Thank you.
So I'm excited you accepted my invitation to be on here. It really is an honor.
Well, when I heard that you help talk about things that maybe help businesses elevate and improve and succeed, I'm all about that.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you again. I mean, I have really enjoyed listening to your podcast, Dropping Bombs, and you have all types of business owners and entrepreneurs on, and you're able to extract strategies and, values and mindset from them that really anybody can learn from. And so I love that. So, yeah, I will admit early on, maybe not so long ago, I started out as a Brad Lea skeptic, as I'm sure you have many of them out there. And I would look at your page and I had to humble myself to tell you this, but that's how I started out. And when I actually started listening to your podcast and listening to you as a guest on other people's podcasts, I saw how much there was to you and the actual man you are. And I had to admit to myself, I really admire you. And so, but I will say it didn't start out that way.
First impressions aren't that good, huh?
They are just strong opinions. And that is your greatest strength, I would say, is you have strong opinions, strong convictions, and you're not afraid to be bold and say them. But I think internally, like I'm speaking from experience, it's a mirror and it causes people to get defensive or their pride gets in the way. And it's a mirror, and it really, even if, I don't agree with everything you say, which I, shouldn't, because I'm my own person, but it caused me to self-analyze a lot. So thank you for that challenge.
Well, that's good news. Again, I don't try, obviously, to offend people. There's some people out there, they're saying things just to get the polarizing effect, because a lot of times polarizing comments and statements get the followers and the attention. And, I struggle sometimes because, I want I want to be, big and controversial and what have you, but I also have to keep it real. Like, my whole brand's built on authenticity and being real and speaking the truth, your truth. Yes. And so it's not always everybody's truth, but it definitely is yours. And people shouldn't be afraid to make their truth known. And I think technically it's the best filter that you can possibly deploy, because you're gonna repel the people that shouldn't be around you anyway. If you're speaking the truth and being authentic, the right people will come around, and that's who you're looking for. You're not looking for a bunch of haters. You're looking for a bunch of love. So many people are so afraid of the hate that they never find the love, because they won't put anything out there. They'll just be quiet. So my thought was, man, I'm just gonna tell people what I think, and if they don't like it, that's okay, because I've learned to like myself.
Yeah. Have you always been that way?
No. I had to
tell me about the journey to becoming the way you are.
Well, I mean, it started out even when I was young. We lived in a neighborhood where our house was like this little shitbox shack in Cottage Grove, Oregon. And my dad was like a mill worker.
Okay.
but the people surrounding us were all nice houses. We were up on this hill, and it was just the craziest thing. And so as a kid, I wanted to fit in with all the other kids, but they had rich parents, successful parents. So I basically started lying and basically telling people things to get them to like me, and it backfired. And I wasn't really liked as a kid, and I was like kind of an outcast. Um, and I think that, if you want to call it trauma, that childhood experience taught me to keep it real. So at some point, when I went from Cottage Grove to Eugene, my parents moved. I thought, man, I'm just gonna keep it real from now on, and people don't like it, that's their problem. And fortunately, I changed and quit doing that, and then it started to serve me. Again, you don't always know that, but in hindsight, you start to realize, there's a plan for everything, I think.
Yeah. And do you believe that all of that shaped, how far you've come in business?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you are the founder, CEO, owner of Lightspeed VT. And so not everybody listening probably knows, because many of my listener base is the small to mid-sized businesses who want to level up. And so I want them all to know about Lightspeed VT. And when did you found it, and what is it?
Well, Lightspeed VT is a company that created the world's first and still most advanced interactive training technology to train people. So I started out in 2000. I was going to go compete with all of the big trainers, and kind of out of necessity, I created an interactive platform technology on the internet to train people. And then it started to work so well that I started basically licensing it to other subject matter experts and trainers that were in the various industries I was servicing, and just realized that I could probably do better if I just served the training space and quit trying to compete. So I decided to collaborate with all the big name trainers and then license them my software. And so now, small to mid-sized businesses, for example, most of them are never going to be able to afford or install a training department. So my company kind of serves as other companies' training department. So I can deploy a training system to get every employee improving instantly in about 20 minutes. So there's a company out there that has maybe, let's say, 15, 20 employees. They don't have a training department, but if they press a button on my website, we would deploy this technology, and then we become their internal training department. So if they want a brochure turned into a training module, if they want SOPs turned into a training module, if they want their employee handbook turned into a training module, maybe their favorite book on business turned into a training module, sales training, customer service, leadership, culture, operational excellence, marketing, anything and everything that you would think, man, I wish I had a training department to service all of my employees and get them all cloned as my best employees. That would be amazing. Well, I can do that for, less than $500.
Wow.
So for $500, a company can have a training department with a advanced interactive on-demand training and communication platform to train, practice, role play, test, measure, etc. So that's what we do now. That's what it evolved into.
And that's amazing. That's really impressive. And it sounds like a business of any size can purchase your program and implement it. Is that right? Any size?
Yeah, I mean, we have like General Motor. We have large companies that use it, and small companies. So it's any size company can use it. Usually, the larger companies have training departments. They have personnel and people that do nothing but focus on training and building out curriculum and determining how to level people up. Well, small businesses don't have that. Small businesses,
Mhm.
get stuck repeating themselves over and over. Everything's in the manager's head or the founder's head. There's no documented SOPs. There's no training manuals. And if there are, they're very ineffective. No real accountability to them. So this technology can be deployed in a company with 5 people or 5 million people.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
instant in 20 minutes. And like I said, then we become the training department for most of our clients, because if they're, mid-sized business doing 7-8 figures, they have 20, 30 people, they're making a lot of money, but they don't have a training department.
Mhm. Yeah, that's incredible. So, who are some of the larger companies that use your system?
Companies that you may have heard of, like Ashley Furniture,
Mhm.
a company called Will Scott, they do about 4 billion. These are companies like, you may not have heard of them, but they're huge.
Right. Yeah.
General Motors,
Mhm.
Porta Subs. Now you're making me draw a blank. I'd have
Oh,
to my
I
playlist,
should have
but
warned you ahead of time. No, that's awesome. So, when did you start your company?
officially in 2000.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What is something that, like a lesson that you maybe learned the hard way?
Well, you got to get my book called The Hard Way.
Mhm.
All the lessons I learned the hard way.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the lessons I learned is don't value money over relationships.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Jordan, it's all about relationships. I mean, think
Right.
about it. When you're born, we need relationships to survive. Like if a baby's born and left to no relationship at all, it will
Mhm.
die. And then when we die, we don't care about our trophies and our money and our businesses. All we want are relationships. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's like
Yeah.
when we're born, we require them, and when we die, we desire them more than anything.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
in the middle, we forget how important they are. And
Right.
sometimes in business, we're worried so much about the money, we allow the relationship to deteriorate over money.
Mhm.
A lot of marriages go south over money. Business relationships go south over money. And
Mhm.
really want to learn a lesson that I had to learn the hard way is focus on the relationship.
Mhm.
It will take care of itself. If you focus on the money, the relationship deteriorates, and pretty soon you have neither. I always say, if you value money over relationship, soon you'll have neither.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was going to ask you though, like there are so many people in my life that are wonderful at maintaining a relationship. They care about people, they have a lot of meaningful relationships. You can tell that they have a big heart for people, and but they don't have any money. So what is that something that what are they missing in that scenario?
Well, they're missing leveraging those relationships.
Mm,
They don't know how to
mhm.
leverage those relationships. Because if you think about it, I mean, you've heard my network is my net worth.
Yes.
A lot of times it's who you know. Well, if you're not tapping into who you know and you're not leveraging your relationships, you can be broke. But if you
Mhm.
really are focused on building and nurturing and valuing relationships, and you decide to go into business and leverage your relationships, it's almost impossible to not be successful.
Mhm.
And
How
again, it depends on what success is too. Like I
right.
know people that they think if you're not making $1 billion, you're not successful. See, I don't subscribe to that. My picture of success, definitely money and financial success is part of it. But who wants
Mhm.
to be rich and lonely? Who wants to be rich and fat and broke and unhealthy? Money's
Mhm.
not everything. So money
Right.
gives you options and freedom. It opens more doors. It helps build more relationships. It's valuable. So again, some people, especially in Oregon,
Mhm.
act like money's not valuable. Well, they scoff at people with money. They hate on money is what they're doing. So
Right.
I believe success is a combination, and everybody has their own. So imagine you're going through life and you're looking for the key to success when in reality, it's not a key at all. It's a combination, and everyone has their own. So even
Mm.
if you follow my combination, it doesn't unlock your lock. Why? Well, because
Right.
brother, that wasn't yours. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to go find
Yeah.
your own idea of success, and it takes a little work. And most people are looking externally when they should be looking internally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, when when people are looking for those relationships to level up their network and to be around those that they can leverage, how do you think that uh, those people can not look at it like using those people as a step up, but instead, like, how can they give value to a network that is more elevated than they are?
Well, that was multiple questions. Number
Yes,
one,
it was. Yeah.
Jordan, when
Yep.
people think leveraging a relationship is using it, well,
Mhm.
the most successful societies on planet Earth do that. The ones that survive
Mhm.
band together. They leverage resources. They put together all individual resources to become the communal resources, and those are the most successful, civilizations and communities. Why?
Mhm.
Well, because they understand that together they're more valuable than apart. So
Mhm.
if everybody pooled, certain resources together, there would be no hungry, there would be no need. And
Mhm.
sometimes, again, we forget this. So we think using somebody is a negative thing. You know, um, you know, I'm using
Mhm.
your podcast to reach new people. You're
Mhm.
using me to build credibility on your podcast. We're using each other right now. Why is that a negative thing? It's a smart
Mhm.
thing. Most
Right.
people are taught that it's negative. Now, taking and taking and taking and never providing any value, that's not necessarily good. So what do?
Mhm.
You provide value. You provide value. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to provide value to your audience. I'm trying
Mhm.
to give them information that might help them out of a jam or help them avoid a certain situation. And that's what you're doing too. You're trying to help your
Mhm.
audience. That's why you even take the time to do these things. But if you,
Right.
but if your audience, I heard you had sponsors, so you're using those people for money. That doesn't. Why are you doing that? Well,
Yeah.
of course you need to do that. So these people with these valuable relationships, but they won't leverage them. It's because they think
Mhm.
I don't want to use my relationship. Well, if you don't use something, it becomes useless.
Mhm. Right.
So
Right.
again,
Yeah.
why would when you say, well, I know people with killer relationships, but they're broke. Well, because
Mhm.
they're not leveraging those relationships. They
Right.
need to leverage relationships. I have no problem. If me and you were besties, I could call you up and say, Jordan, I need you to come down and do this, 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 this. And then if you ever need me, I'm going to be there for you. That
Mhm.
is a more successful relationship. It's called exchange of value. And so now you're better off knowing me, and I'm better
Mhm.
off knowing you. And now
Right.
you can call me, and now you got me and my resources. And now I know
Mhm.
you. I can call you, and now I have all your resources. So if me and
Right.
you came together and said, hey, let's build something, who do you know? What do you got? You would bring me value. And then I, in turn, would do the same thing. Would we rise together or not?
Mhm. Right.
So why
Yeah.
aren't people doing that? Well, because they're taught, oh, you don't use people. You're just a
Mhm.
user. Remember back in high school when, he's a user.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, it means he wanted to get in your pants basically, and he didn't care about you at all. Well, that's a taker.
Mhm.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Mhm. Right.
Exchange value.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and, I love hearing that, and, it sounds like that's something that is such a truth that we need to listen to, and you've built, you have massive success, you have a multi-million dollar business,
I have several,
and
so you know.
can I hear more about them?
Well, I have like right now seven
Uh-huh.
multi-million dollar businesses, all
Mm-hmm.
started from scratch. But in
Wow.
reality, now that I'm older and wiser, I wish I would have just bought businesses.
Oh,
There's
okay.
businesses listening to this right now that, are going to
Mm-hmm.
struggle for another 20 years and end up, selling it or not, just
Mm-hmm.
shutting it down. Um,
Right.
and in reality, right now, anyone qualifies for a $5 million loan from the SBA. So there's employees right now working at a company that they could
Mm-hmm.
literally purchase. They're just not aware of it. They could purchase that
Wow.
company and then the cash flow becomes theirs. So somebody that's making, let's say, $80,000 a year, I could show them, assuming they're not, felons and bankrupt
Mm-hmm.
what is it? Felony, bankruptcy. They have to have they have to have a 640 credit score or better,
Mm-hmm.
no
Okay.
BKs and no felonies. So they can't be a felon, they can't be bankrupt, and they can't
Mm-hmm.
have a lower than 640 credit. But if those three things are true, well, then they could go out and sign their name and get a $5 million loan from the SBA
Wow.
and buy a business right now that's cash flowing $1.7 million a year. So if you
Uh-huh.
purchase a business doing $1.7 million a year, that means that business roughly, right,
Yeah.
is ultimately $4 or $5 million. Well,
Uh-huh.
I can borrow 5
Wow.
million from the SBA, hand it over to this owner, and then
Mm-hmm.
I receive the 1.7 million per year. I have to use half of it to pay the debt service to the SBA. Well, what am I left?
Mm-hmm.
I'm left with $750,000 a year in income. But
Right.
people aren't doing that. Why not? Well, they're out there busting their ass for $80,000 for the business owner. So
Oh my God.
even though I've built companies from scratch, I have a financial services company, I have a merchant
Mm-hmm.
processing company. Like any company that's paying processing fees, my company eliminates processing fees. So if you use credit cards and you're paying fees, which most companies still are,
Mm-hmm.
you reach out to Real Merchant Services and I'll eliminate your processing fees. You know how much money that is for some businesses?
Yeah.
When I first started that company, it's because I realized, first of all, there's no regulation in that business and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's basically overpaying compared to what
Mm-hmm.
you would pay. So I said, why don't I just make a little bit on a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of companies rather than a bunch on a few? So I started Real
Yeah.
Merchant Services and started with myself and
Mm-hmm.
eliminated like $250,000 a year in processing fees. And that $250,000 can hire more help. It can go into marketing. It can go into
Yeah.
equipment. I mean, it's smart. It's business. So
Mm-hmm.
are you paying processing fees right now?
Oh, I pay them in all sorts of ways.
Yeah. See, listen, I
Yeah.
can I can
Yeah.
eliminate those.
I
So
don't
that's
even think about it, you know?
most
It's
companies don't
normal.
because it's
Yeah.
normal. It's just part of the deal, but
Mhm.
it's not part of the deal. I
Yeah.
eliminate processing fees for companies. So
Mhm.
that's a merchant processing company, financial services company, a
Mhm.
training and events company. Um, uh, Lightspeed is a software company.
Mhm.
Shit, what you got me like brain dead now. Um,
Hey, I mean, I'm still learning plenty, so, I mean, you're good.
Yeah, but
I'll look them up
essentially
and
building companies from scratch is the hard way to do it. So if someone's listening to your show and
yeah.
they're thinking about building a business or they're currently building one, I can tell
Mhm.
you that buying them is much easier.
Wow. So, are any of yours for sale that I that I can buy?
Well, anything of mine is for sale at the right price. The
Yeah.
problem is I started them, so I
Mhm.
imagine them worth way more than someone else probably does. Uh,
Mhm.
so
It's
in the next 3 to 5 years, I'll probably be exiting all but one of them, two of them.
uh-huh. Yeah. So, why do business owners sell their business? Is it usually that they're retiring and they don't have anybody that they trust to take it over? Or what are some of the reasons? Like, why would a really good cash flowing business be for sale?
Well, because you want to do something else, you want to retire, you're tired of doing it,
Yeah.
or it was a stepping stone.
Right.
Like a lot of people, they built a successful cash flowing business, but it's
Hmm.
not their passion. They're not interested too much in it. They're kind of tired of doing it. But let's say, for example, 11 million businesses per year are for sale, and only
Hmm.
about 12% actually sell.
Okay.
The other ones either just shut their doors or go out of business.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
some kids, they don't want their dad's business. Some people are like 65. They've been making good money and cash flowing for 20 years. They got their retirement, they got their investments, they got their real estate portfolio, and they just don't want to do it anymore. So those
Yeah.
businesses go up for sale. Well, someone could walk in, take over that business, and literally, as long as they don't screw it up, take over where that person left off and then either grow it or just
Mhm.
write it out. Because if you
Right.
do the math, and a lot of people don't do the math, if I were to purchase a business, let's say throwing off $1.7 million, debt service to the 5 million that I borrowed from the SBA with a signature,
Mhm. Yep.
it's about half that. So that means I'm putting 750 in my pocket. Now I'm going to go 500 just to be safe because it's easier for math. So in 1 year, I made 500,000 in my pocket, and I paid 500,000 to the SBA. So now I
Mhm.
have 500,000 in equity because I paid that.
Mhm.
Even though I didn't get it in my pocket, it's still bringing down the debt. So the
Right.
next year goes by, I paid another 500,000 to the SBA. So now I got $1 million in equity, and I've received another 500,000. Now,
Mhm.
so far, I have $2 million. So when people think, well, I only get half the money, they're not thinking, because when you pay the SBA loan down, that's equity in your business. Your business was
Right.
valuable when you bought it. Why don't you think it's going to be valuable when you want to sell it? So in
Mhm.
reality, I can show anybody how to do this, and within 3 to 5 years, they're a multimillionaire just buying
Mhm.
a business and selling one. And then when you sell the
Mhm.
business, as long as you go buy another cash flowing business with the same or greater value, you don't even pay
Mhm.
taxes on that.
Right.
So
Wow.
again, there's so many little secrets and things that
Mhm.
these structures allow, and you
Mhm.
would never know that they exist until you just unfortunately meet the right people, read the right book,
Mhm.
listen to the right podcast. Like there might be someone listening to this podcast right now that are like, no way, this can't be true. He or she will go investigate what it is I'm saying and
Mhm.
realize it is true. And guess what? We just inspired someone to go buy a business.
Yeah.
Now that same person that wasn't listening could go out and start to build a business. Do you know the likelihood
Mhm.
of success when you start a business?
It's really low. I mean, most of that's why, this podcast exists, because it's such a high failure rate.
Do you know the failure rate once a business has been around for 10 years?
I believe 80%, but could be wrong.
Nope.
More?
Once a business is established,
Mhm.
the failure rate is like 20%.
Oh, okay.
So it goes from, 80 or 90% likelihood to fail in the first year.
Right. Yeah.
Once you've reached a certain level, it actually reduces. So the SBA, when you
Yeah.
look at the stats, the
Mhm.
SBA loans money for businesses all year, every year.
Mhm.
75% of the businesses that they purchase or they loan money on
Mhm.
don't go out of business. Never went out of
Mhm.
business.
Mhm.
So that's a pretty good track. That means like 3 out of
Yeah.
every 4 survive.
Yeah.
Well, the cool part about buying and selling businesses is you don't sign the deal if it doesn't make sense. So you can go in, look at the business, look at the financials, look at the last 2 years, look at the leadership, look at the management, look at everything, look at the customer base,
Mhm.
look at everything, and then sign a piece of paper, and boom, all that's yours now. Now some people think they have
Mhm.
to go in and improve it and change it and grow it. Just don't screw it up is the key. Like just
Right.
don't screw it up. If you just left it alone, it should, for the last 5 years, it made the same amount of money, and you owning it is not going to change that unless
Mhm.
you change something.
Right.
But anyway, I don't want to, convince people to go buy businesses because a lot of them are already building one. It's just if I
Yep.
could go back, I wouldn't have built all the ones I've built. It was
Yeah.
a bitch. It's difficult,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I would suggest you just buy them.
Mhm. Yeah. That's really good advice. Talking about building, do you believe, or in your experience, um, was it harder to make your first million, for example, or is it more difficult to maintain wealth, build wealth versus maintaining?
Well, this would just be my opinion, but it's not hard to build it or maintain it.
Okay.
It's just not. Again, there's people listening going, well, easy for you to say. I could show anybody how to be a multimillionaire and sustain that level. It's just most people won't want to. Why? Because it's not as fun or as exciting or as cool as people think. It's the boring shit. It's the discipline. It's the consistency. You think it's all exciting when it isn't exciting. It's the same things over and over. It's the fundamentals. It's the basics repeated day in and day out for years. Step one, solve a problem. What problem do you solve? If you don't have that answer, you're not really building a business. Some people have a business, by the way, and all they built was a job without a boss. It's not a real business. A real business, you can go off to Greece for 3 months and come back and you'll be as good or better off than when you left. Most people, they don't have a business like that. They have a job without a boss, but it's still a job. If they're not showing up every day and they're not grinding every day, that business fails. That's not a business. Okay. I mean, people could argue, yes, it is. Well, yes, it is. But you see what I'm saying? Like a real business pays you whether you're there or not. Now, there's people out there right now that have those businesses, but they're not real. And all they have to do is make a few maneuvers to make it real. And their life gets 10 times easier. And then their time frees up. And then they take the money that they're making, and instead of going to get a nicer house and go on better vacations, they take that money and either grow their current business or buy another one, and then buy another one, and then buy another one. Like I can show someone right now how to be a multimillionaire guaranteed in 5 years.
Yeah. What are some of those things that you do behind the scenes, like the non-sexy like habits that you have that when someone looks at your Instagram or your podcasts, what that they don't see, that those kind of things that people don't want to do?
Well, everything I do is sexy, so I can't see. That's why people don't like me.
That one.
That's why people don't like me first impression, because they think I'm being serious. No, I mean, number one, like when I wake up every day, I'm instantly grateful just for being given the day. Like my gratitude is always in place. Gratitude is a heavenly energy. My frequency, my vibrational frequency, I operate in what I call heavenly energy. So I walk around this earth attracting heavenly energy. You attract what you emit, right? So I always say you get what you emit. If you're walking around like an asshole, you're going to get more things to feed that asshole. If you walk around grateful, you're going to get more things to be grateful for. So I wake up every single day with the immense gratitude of just getting the day. So like it's already a great day. The question is how good is it going to get? Some people wake up and they look at their email and they were fired, or they got a 10-day, pay rent or move out notice, and they choose, which is crazy. Because if you think about it, Jordan, they're choosing to be this way.
Right. Yeah.
Who makes your choices?
Me.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I am sure. I make my choices.
Okay. So if you make your choices, the last time you were pissed off at something, you chose to be pissed off? And your answer's got to be, yes, I did. Okay. So my question is, Jordan, why would you choose to be pissed off? And then people say, well, I can't help it. I can't help it. See, that's where you start to play victim. You can help it. You're just choosing not to. And you're not aware that the choice is the power. God gave us free will. Free will is the gift. We have free will. We can choose anything we want to choose. Nobody can choose for us. So at the end of the day, I choose gratitude. I choose kindness. I choose generosity. Again, I'm human just like everybody else. So things bombard, and sometimes it's a struggle because emotions get in the way. Well, control your emotions. Ask somebody, hey, do you think you can control your emotions? People will say no. I feel sorry for those people because they're unaware that they have the gift from God called free will, because you can control your emotions. And if someone were to argue with me, I might acquiesce on that point, and I'll say, okay, maybe you can't control the emotion, but you can certainly control your reaction to it.
Right.
Yeah. So to me, you know, some of that unsexy shit that I do every day, I wake up every day extremely grateful. Now, again, I think that's awesome. I'm like, I have an advantage, but that's because my perspective is there. Some people, they don't want to do that. I've shared this with people and they say, but you don't understand. My wife's leaving me. My wife cheated on me. My wife spent all my money. My job's firing me. My boss is an asshole. You know, I don't have a mom. She died. I don't have a dad. He split. I don't have any money. I don't have a nice car. I'm not good looking. I'm not in shape. I'm not connected. I don't have that. You know, I never got that. It's like,
oh, yes, absolutely.
That's
not
it.
Not what happens to them, but what they do with it.
It's a choice at the end of the day. And people don't realize that it's not that difficult if you understand the simplicity of stop choosing to be depressed, stop choosing to be angry, stop choosing to be negative and greedy and fearful and doubtful and confused and insecure. Why? Well, again, I mean, why? Here's why. Over here is happiness and confidence and love and joy and everything that you think you want. And over here, you got negative and depression and darkness and hate and greed and envy. And you have a choice. I can go here or I can go here. Well, why would you choose this? Why would you ever choose this?
Right.
Okay, so everybody listening, now that you got the secret, just wake up right now and never choose what I call earthly energy ever again. Don't choose earthly energy. Choose heavenly energy. Because if you had a choice, I can live in heaven with the love and the angels and the brightness and the butterflies and the love and all that crap. Or I can choose to live in reality where everybody wants my money and everybody's trying to screw me and I'm not good enough and someone's always better than me and someone's always tougher than me. You want to live there or do you want to live there? Well, I want to live there. Well, then stop choosing this shit. And people are like, it's not that easy. See, you just chose that it's not that easy. So anyway, I go off on a tangent because to me, it's like, this is the message I'm trying to get out to people because I feel empathy for people that are struggling. Why? Because I used to struggle. I was the guy that started a business and it crashed. I started a business and it didn't work many times.
Okay.
And until my mindset shifted, nothing changed. You got to have the right mindset. Then you have to have the right skill set. Then you have to have the right habits. So if anybody's looking for the 3 predictors of your future, mindset, skill set, habits. Show me your habits and I'll show you your future. Show me your skills and I'll show you your bank account. Show me your mindset and I'll show you everything about you. So if someone's listening, they're like, well, this guy's making sense, you know, but how do I fix my mindset? Open a damn book. Start listening with an open mind. Shut your mouth and quit blaming everybody and start taking responsibility and saying, okay, I'm just going to blindly follow what this guy's saying. He's saying read books. Exactly. Crack a book open and start reading it. You don't have to agree with it, but read, get new information. Because in order to change what you're getting, you got to change what you're doing. In order to change what you're doing, You have to change what you believe, because the reason you do what you do is based on your beliefs. So whatever your belief system is creating your choices, and your choices are creating your actions, and your actions are creating your results. So you're like, I don't like the results I'm seeing. How do I get different results? Well, you have to change your actions. How do I do that? Well, you have to change your beliefs. Well, how do I do that? How do you change your beliefs? There's only one way to do it. Do you know what the answer is?
I would say opening yourself up to hearing other people's beliefs and then making your own decision.
You have to seek and absorb and take in new information.
Right. Yeah.
It's just new information. It can't be the same information. If you already know it, it's not going to change your beliefs.
Yeah.
The only way to change your beliefs is to seek new information. So where is this new information I'm supposed to be consuming every day?
Crack open a book.
Podcasts,
Yeah.
other people's autobiographies, other people's story. You know, learn. You're able to learn. You have to have the right mindset to believe that. Some people, not me. I have what do you call it? Where you read shit backwards.
Oh,
I'm dyslexic.
Yeah,
I'm dyslexic. I have a learning disability. Again, folks, you can keep claiming all the excuses you want. But in reality, I know someone with no hands, no arms, no legs. This dude's a real dude. You can look him up. That is living his best life.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, hot girlfriend and everything. Like, it's unbelievable. This guy skis, drives, like he doesn't have arms and legs and shit.
Yeah.
Most positive dude out there. He's blessed every day. And you're sitting there full bodied, complaining because you read words backwards. Who cares?
Right. Yeah. Skill set, habits, mindset, those are all things that people can choose to do. They aren't things that some people are born with and some are not. They're all choices within our control.
So 100%, this is 100% the secrets to the world. If people want me to narrow it down to the bottom line is you get your mindset right and keep it there. You can get your skill sets down. You got to be good. Okay. Just because you're positive doesn't make you successful. You can be really, really positive running in the wrong direction. You can be really, really positive and not very good at things. People aren't going to pay you just because you're positive.
Right.
Okay? So you got to have the right mindset, but then you have to have the right skill set. Like, what are you trying to accomplish in life? If you're in business, you better have the skill of marketing. You better understand how to communicate. You better understand how to sell, close, and persuade and influence people. You better understand personal branding. You better understand, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, if you're in business and you don't know these things and you don't think to yourself that those are valuable, well, then let me tell you that they are. My personal brand, right? The fact that I'm on social media and have millions of followers probably makes me $10 to $12 million a year. $10 to $12 million a year and growing. It's like, your personal brand matters, but yet all these businesses, they're not even trying to build a personal brand.
Right. Can I ask you a question about,
yeah, go ahead.
A question about your social media. So you just dropped some really valuable information for us. I wish we could use your dropping bombs sound effect. But you dropped some really important information for us, wake up, all of those things. And one of the things you said is, don't be an asshole. And then when we look at your social media, sometimes you sound like an asshole in the reels. So how do you do that? How are you authentic at both? You're your authentic self. You're where you are because of who you are. How are those things coexisting?
Well, everyone has their own perception, right?
Right.
Okay, so I can't control how you think of me. So when you said on social media, sometimes you're an asshole. Well, if you asked me that, I'm never an asshole on social media. So how can what you say be true or what I say be true?
It's perception.
It's perception.
Yeah.
There is no truth. My truth is I'm not an asshole on social media. I'm doing nothing but kind shit, trying to get the word out to people who need it. Now, some people will think I'm an asshole. I can't help that. Like I can't, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to go, damn, Jordan thinks I'm an asshole. I need to be kinder. And then some people are going to call me a pussy. And then some people are going to call me soft.
Nobody's happy with everything.
No one's happy. Okay. Yeah. Nobody is at the end of the day capable of making everyone happy. So if you have to make a list of who you're going to make happy, start writing your list. You write your parents, you write your friends, you write your church. You start figuring out who am I going to choose then? Because I got to choose somebody because I can't make everyone happy. We all agree with that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I can't make everyone happy. Let me start writing down who I'm going to make happy. And once you start writing it down, look on the list and tell me where your name is. Because 9 times out of 10, most people don't write their own name down because that's selfish. Well, who said that? How is it selfish to put yourself first? How is it selfish to make you the most important person in your life? To me, it's not selfish. You can ask my wife, and I've seen people make comments. Oh, I feel sorry for his wife. My wife don't feel sorry. I can promise you that. And let me tell you something. You guys are hearing what I'm saying incorrectly if you think this is rude. But I always say, I'm the most important person in my life. Why? Well, because if I really love all of you, wouldn't I need to put myself first in order to be the best version of me? That doesn't mean I wouldn't sacrifice for my children. I wouldn't sacrifice for my wife. That's not what that means. That means I'm the most important person in my life. I'm more important to me than I am my wife, than my kids, than anybody. Why? Well, because I understand that to be the best for them, it must be that way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really important for people that are watching your content online to also look at, it's a good opportunity for, I mean, not everyone's beliefs are going to change, but I know from experience, my beliefs changed when I also opened up your book, when I also opened up podcasts, your podcast. So that was an example, I think, that more people should, do.
Well,
it's
I'll do a post about this, and I'll say, hey, listen, for all of you that think I'm an asshole, the problem is the people that think I'm an asshole, they already unfollowed and moved on. Which again, maybe they made a mistake, maybe they didn't. Maybe I am an asshole to them. Just like I used to think Oregon was unbelievable. I grew up there. It was such an amazing state. It was beautiful. It was green. It was lush. Now I think it's a shithole. Why? Because of the politicians up there. But guess what? You still live there. You might still think it's beautiful. Well, guess what? It's beautiful to you, but it's not beautiful to me. How is that possible? It's all perception. And you're never going to get everyone to agree. So if people realize that is a fact, so then why don't we just do this? How about make yourself happy and do what you think's best and don't worry about what everybody else thinks. The fear of other people's opinion is called allodoxophobia. You can look that up. Allodoxophobia is what people have, and that's why they're worried that, oh my God, Jordan thinks I'm an asshole. I wonder what I said that made her think that. I don't.
For the record, I didn't mean it.
Hey, no. And listen, you're not the only one that's told me this, but it's because who knows why it is. That's you. That's not me. That's not a me thing. That's a you thing. And it may have been because someone that I remind you of was a dick in high school. Maybe you have some past memory where, people that act like him are usually dicks. And then you get a little deeper and we're like, well, shit, that's probably pretty true. And well, shit, well, man, you know what? This guy's not a dick. He's just willing to say what he thinks. Exactly. Right. And why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I? I don't understand why people don't say what they think. Well, I'll tell you why. Allodoxophobia. They are worried about other people's opinion, and I am not. Why? Because I realize I can't make everyone happy, so I'm just going to make myself happy. So whatever I put on social media, believe it or not, is the same kindness I assume everybody sees. But in some cases, Maybe they see a dickhead from high school. Maybe they see an arrogant prick that they think, oh, who does this guy think he is? But Jordan, I didn't even know you were thinking that. So how could I have helped it? I couldn't. The only thing I could have
Great.
done is been a little less bold, a little less confident, a little less authentic. And I'll bet you if that were the case, I would be a little less followed.
Right.
Because authenticity is going to attract the people you want attracted. And authenticity will repel the people you don't need to be around. So I just be myself, say what I think. And if someone thinks I'm an asshole, hey, I don't want that. But guess what? If that's what happens, then I'm good with it. Why? I know I'm not an asshole.
Right.
I know that. Like, you couldn't convince me in a million years.
Yeah.
You could go point at any one of the posts I've ever made. And if you could say, Brad, right there, you were an asshole. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. You just perceived me as one.
Yeah.
I was an angel in that post that you thought I was an asshole.
Well, I think a lot of men stopped baby talking their animals.
Well, again, number one, there's also some posts that have humor, but the humor in the post where like, hey guys, if you're sitting there going, you boo to your animal, you're probably gay. That's humor. That's funny. Like, again, if I walked by a dude and they were going, oh, you, I wouldn't be like, you're gay. Actually, I probably would, but it's funny. Just like when I say, just like when there was a meme once that we put out and it was the devil and he was all big, bad, and scary. And he said, I'm coming for you.
And I whispered.
Yeah. And I said, that's gay. So again, it's funny. I think gay is funny.
Yeah.
I'm a juvenile. I think, I think dick jokes are funny. Like, I was also raised kind of poorly, not a lot of leadership, kicked out of my house at 16 years old. So since I was 16, I was out on the street by myself. I didn't hang around the right people in the first, 5 years since then. So until about 21 to 30, I wasn't even hanging around the right people. I would say I was poorly raised. However, how did I become successful? Well, in my mind, I'm still not successful, Jordan. According to my potential, I'm losing big time. I am nowhere near where I could have been and should have been. But my dumb ass didn't understand the basics. So now when you get a little older, you start to look back. That's why you see old people that wear their, pants up to their tits and they don't care, what they look like, and they got hair growing out of their ears. Because once you get old, pretty soon you realize, like, who cares? Like, just enjoy life. And that's what I do. I try to anyway. I enjoy life and I do like helping people. Most of the businesses that I've set up is to help people. When I started training people to help them make more money. Everything I do in life, I don't know of one thing that I do that isn't designed at the end of the day to help someone, not to sell them, not to get their money, to help people. If you said, Jordan, if you just said right now, Brad, I'll give you $100,000 if you can, whatever you said, and I don't think it could help. My answer would be, you don't want to do that because you're not going to get your money's worth. Most people would figure out how to try to, because they want that $100,000. I don't want $1 from anybody unless I can give more value in exchange. That's why I built this training system. Originally, I was trying to help people learn to close more deals and, make more money. But now it's like every business that's listening right now, for $399, basically, you can have a training system and an internal training department to help you develop the materials you need or provide them to develop the human beings that are on your team. And if you are thinking in your head, $399 to help all your human beings, and not only that, you're helping your most valuable asset, which should be your team. Your team's going to help your customers, which a lot of people think is their most valuable asset, when in reality, if your team's shitty and pissed off, your customers are definitely going to be pissed off. So your team should be number one. Customers is another one. How about your family? You're going to make more money if you train people. How about their families? In other words, like $400 you could invest and start training and developing everyone in your world.
Mm-hmm.
Now watch how many people on this show actually go spin up a Lightspeed training system. And by the way, since you're asking about it, if you pull up the website, it's not live yet because I'm launching it January 26th.
Mm-hmm.
If you pull up instant, like in an instant lightspeedvt.com, you'll see a landing page that explains it all. But I would urge everybody listening, if you own a business, I don't care what size it is, okay? If you own a business, go get a training system. Let us be your training department, and let's start developing you and your team. For $400 a month is nothing. And I will show people how to grow and scale their business so fast it's unbelievable. Why? Not for your $400. It's because I'll over deliver is my point. So I said all that not to pitch anybody, but I said all that to make my point. I'm doing that to help businesses. I'm not doing it to help myself. So this is the secret, or the message, if you will. Focus on helping other people. 100%, like, get you out of the equation. Just go help people. Help people solve problems. Help people relieve pain. Help people feel better. Help people do better. Dude, money is abundant. Money will flood you if you just focus on helping other people. Now, let me ask you, Jordan, would an asshole believe that?
No. Nope. And I think people should take the time to I'm thankful I did take the time to educate themselves about the other aspects of you instead of just getting offended.
Hey, what offended you? The baby talking to your pets?
Oh no, that was funny, and I told my husband about it. As a baby talker.
What offended you? What offended you?
I would say I was, because of past experiences, like you mentioned, was somebody like this in high school or this or that. Because of past experiences, when I listen to anything to do with your wife, women in the workplace, women who are maybe breadwinners, that sort of a thing, that can get me to my core as somebody that, was in a place where depending on other people screwed me over. And so now I'm now willing to admit maybe I overcompensate by trying to make sure I don't depend on anybody else in the workplace. So it's caused a lot of self-reflection.
Well, yes. So what you're saying then is you do not agree with my assumed position on women.
Yeah.
Okay, because again, listen to me. I don't believe that women should be in the kitchen or at home. I don't believe that.
Right.
I support that, but I don't believe it. Right. What does that mean? Agreed. Like, for example, if my wife wanted to build a business, I would support her and help her and not like think less of her. If she wanted to build a business, I would help her build a business. I'd be excited for it because it's fun building businesses. But like, she's not working for another man that's going to tell her what to do. Hell no. Why? Well, because I don't want some other man controlling my wife. Like, she doesn't, that's not going to happen. So like, if she worked for someone else, I would say, honey, you don't have to work. Now, if she said, I like it, well, then go to work. I'm fine with it. But I don't think they should have to. You see the difference? I don't think you're bad because you're a breadwinner or you're making money. That's good. Like, there's a little part of me that wishes my wife was making millions of dollars also. So, but the fact that she doesn't, because I'm old fashioned, men are supposed to make money, take care of their wives, take care of their children, financially and physically and emotionally and spiritually. I believe that. It doesn't mean the wife can't also. But if you didn't want to work, you have to. I'm telling your husband, get off your ass, dick face, and get her at home where she wants to be. That's it. So I do not believe women belong at home. I believe that men belong providing and protecting, period.
Uh-huh.
So if you're a
Right.
breadwinner woman, good for you, more power to you. But I think your man needs to hear, get your ass up and go make the money. Now, again, I don't know everybody's story. Maybe someone met a guy that doesn't believe in himself. Maybe a guy that, victim mentality, and he's trying, but he can't figure it out. Well, give him some time. I'm not against those people.
For sure.
I just believe a man is supposed to provide and protect. Do you not
Yeah.
agree?
I do agree. I do agree. I will
Okay, so
say,
if you could press a button and your
yes.
current husband
Mhm.
would inherit $1 billion, and
Yep.
I'm not saying you have to stop building and working.
Right.
If you could say, hey, if I could press a button and my husband would be a billionaire and his mindset would be provide and protect, where I don't have to do it, would I push the button? Yes or no?
I would say there's a button I want more, but yes, that would be great.
Okay, so me and you are actually aligned. I do not believe women shouldn't work, and I do not believe women shouldn't build businesses. I think
Yeah.
if they do, a husband should support that. But that's
Yes.
because he's supposed to provide and protect, and that would be included in that whole scenario.
What
So
about if,
most women that hear what I'm saying are hearing the right thing, because I went
yes.
from like 5% women followers to like 30% women followers because of my opinion. There's a lot of women that will just say, yes, I don't want to be out there winning the bread, but I have
Right.
to. And when I say, well, why do you have to? You know what they say? Well, because I tried depending on a man once. So what you're
Yeah.
doing is, and by the way, you're playing victim here, because just because one dickhead wasn't the right guy doesn't mean
Yeah.
no guys will ever protect and provide for you. You just gave
Right.
up and you said, screw it. I'm never going to be in the position again where I'm depending on a man. Well, again, that's a choice, and I support it. But just because one dickhead was a dickhead doesn't mean they're
Yeah.
all dickheads.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you could have kept just finding the right one, and eventually, if that's what you
Mhm.
wanted, eventually you wouldn't be in the position you're in unless you
Mhm.
wanted to be. You see the difference?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And for the record, because I know he'll watch this, wonderful husband, protective, like he's not the one that gave me that mindset originally. But I do think that
Oh, it's
it's important.
the guy that I remind you of back in high school.
But I think that that can be built into people when their brains are
Yeah.
forming. And so I think this conversation is good and healthy because it causes people to self-reflect on that and maybe question like what we've always been doing. And so I think it's a really good and healthy thing to maybe not agree at first, but then take in more information and educate and learn. And the result can be amazing if you're open to it.
Well, here's a good example. Number one, have you ever been cheated on?
Yes,
Then why don't you just assume your husband's cheating on you?
because I know who he is as a person.
Well, so just because some dickhead cheated on you doesn't mean they all
Mhm.
will. Right.
Correct.
And just because someone cheated once doesn't mean they'll cheat again. So people
Mhm.
do change, and it boils down to, you know, having the understanding that, just because here I have a saying, and
Yes.
basically this is for when people get screwed over in some way, because I've been screwed over,
Mhm.
you've been screwed over, everyone's been screwed over. The question is
Mhm.
how did you adapt, and what did you change because you were screwed over? I think that
Mhm.
matters. So like, I'm going to be kind and trust people easily. And
Mhm.
I'm not going to change that. Why? Well, just because I got screwed doesn't mean I'm going to now not trust people. I'm not going to now not be kind. I'm not going to now not be generous. Why? Well, because there's scumbags out there and they're all going to screw me. No, that's allowing those people to change me. So I have a
Mhm.
saying that says, don't change the way you treat people,
Mhm.
change the people you treat. See the difference? Like,
Yes.
I'm not gonna allow assholes and advantage takers and mean, evil people to change me. I'm gonna change the people that I'm dealing with. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
continue to trust and be kind. I'm just gonna not be kind to those people. So it's like,
Right.
don't change the way you treat people,
Uh-huh.
change the people you treat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Otherwise you would never trust a man again because one
Right.
cheated on you. And
Right.
you know, we'd all be in a world of hell if nobody like forgave.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
I think we need to live, we need to learn, and at the end of the day, we need to realize everybody's different. There's
Mm-hmm.
someone out there that is the perfect fit for someone who you might think I would never be with that guy. And guess what? And it's still true, meaning they are not a good fit for you, but they're a
Mm-hmm.
perfect fit for someone else. How's that possible? Well, because everybody's different. Everybody's different. And so, just for the record, I don't think women belong at home if you thought I did. I
I
just
think that's
support
why
I just
I think
support the
that's
women
why
that want to be at home.
yeah. I love that. And that's part of the reason why I was excited that you agreed to come on here, because I consume your videos and sometimes I wish I could just ask questions about it. And so that's why I'm excited you
Well,
came on here today.
well, ask me some blunt questions.
All right. You mentioned that you wouldn't have your wife work under another man. What if that was a stepping stone to her becoming a good businesswoman, if that's what she wanted to be?
Well, again, like she really wanted to, well, then I
If
would
a,
support, then I,
yeah.
then I would support her.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't be happy about it though.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it started out because like my wife, one Sunday, we were chilling and you know,
Mm-hmm.
the sheer curtain was blowing in the wind. It was like magical and everything was lovely. Maroon 5 was playing and it was just a Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And her
Yep.
phone rang and she was a nanny when I met her. And her
Mm-hmm.
phone rang and it was the guy who she worked for
Right.
basically telling her, "Hey, I need you."
Mm-hmm.
And so she had to go. She didn't want to go,
Mm-hmm.
but she had to go. And I'm sitting there going, in my mind, I'm thinking, this guy can pick up his phone and snatch my girl right out of my arms anytime he wants to. And I just said, babe, I think you need to tell him that you're done after today. Like give him his 2 weeks. And she said,
Okay.
really? Like she wanted that. She's like, really? Like she didn't say, what are you talking about? I love working for him. I love my job. Otherwise, I'd have said, okay,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead. But
Got it.
I might not have married her either. Why? Well, because I don't want a girl that wants to go work for a man somewhere else. Why? I don't know. I don't believe. I think if my wife wants to work, great. If she doesn't, she shouldn't have to. Period. So again,
Mm-hmm.
if she wanted to,
Yeah.
I probably would have kept looking.
Yeah. Do
Yeah,
you
why?
think
Because I want one that wants to be at home. I want one that does not want to be in the workplace. And by the way,
okay?
the workplace is 90% of where cheating happens, just FYI. So again, I'm
Uh-huh.
a firm believer, if you don't want a haircut, stay out the barbershop. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You don't want your
Yeah.
ass kicked, stay out of the bad neighborhoods. Like just be smart. I'm not going to send my wife out in the workforce where there's a million opportunities. You don't trust her. It's not about trust. It's about
Mm-hmm.
intelligence. You know, just like
Right.
she can't get a male masseuse. Now, fortunately, maybe she's lying. She doesn't want a male masseuse, but I'm not letting a guy rub her down with oil in a dark room by themselves when she's naked. Hell no. Why? Hell no. What are you, stupid? Why? What do you mean, why? Because she's naked underneath the towel with a dude rubbing her with oil. Are
What
you
about
nuts?
you?
Like you would allow that? Now, again, what about, because women always say, well, can you get one from a female? Well, yes, I can. And I only will get one from a female. Why? Because I would never be caught naked being rubbed down with oil by a dude. So at the end of the day, if there's no female masseuses available, well, then I guess I don't get a massage that day. But my wife,
Yeah.
and again, according to her, you can ask her, she would not want a male, but I would never let her. If she said, I like males, well, again, I would support her, but I might have to find a new wife. Why? because I don't want my wife being rubbed down by a dude. I know what that dude's thinking. Okay. That dude's thinking the same shit I'd be thinking.
You don't think females think that way when they're massaging you?
Hell no. Women don't sit there and just salivate over some dude laying on the freaking table. Women don't
Okay.
think that way.
Okay.
Women might think, oh, this guy's attractive, but I don't think they're sitting there thinking, oh my God, imagine if they're not doing that. And if they
You
are
should take
doing
an
it,
anonymous survey from all your.
well, if they are doing that, well, then it'd surprise the shit out of me because I don't think women think like that. And not only that, the women masseuses that I get, they can be old and fat and freaking ugly. Like I don't need beautiful women rubbing me down, but I need a
I
woman.
think I did envision that. So thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, no, I mean, like usually the best female masseuses are like kind of the
Yeah.
stronger ones. But to me, it's like if there was only men masseuses, I just wouldn't get one. And again, it's nothing against the man. I just
Right.
don't want it.
Yeah.
If I walked in, one time we went in to get a foot massage at one of those foot massage places, and there was like a group of us, so they ran out of females. So I'm like, well, then I'll just I'm gonna go get a coffee. I'll be right back. My buddy's like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Get it?
Yeah.
And I go, dude, I'm not doing it. I'm not letting a dude rub my feet. He goes, why not? And I'm like, well, dude, I just don't do that. And he said, here, I'll take the guy. You can have the girl. I said, okay. So I sit down and the girl's doing my feet and everybody's in the room, and I look over and here's my buddy sitting there with his eyes closed. And this dude has his fingers in between his toes, all slowly rubbing it with oil. And I'm just thinking to myself, that's gay. Like that's gay. I would never allow that. Now, if you want some controversy, clip these and see what happens. You'll get 1 million comments. Everyone will be against me. A bunch of people will be for me. And then the other people will just be giving you the skull.
Yeah.
And
well, you know what? That's why I wanted to be here and ask you, because usually I watch your clips and I don't know what's humor and what's not. And so I'm happy to learn more about it.
Okay. So does that answer your question about the women at home?
Yeah, I would say so. It
I'm
helps
not
a lot.
I'm not a chauvinist at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said,
Well,
there's a little piece of me that wishes my
Right.
wife would just become an entrepreneur and figure out how to make a couple $1 million a year extra. Oh, that'd be great. But she wouldn't be working for dudes.
Yeah.
If she figured out, hey, I want to start a male review, honey. I want to like find a way to beat Chippendales. So I'm going to start a male review. Pass. Ain't happening. Why?
What about if she employed men?
It ain't happening. What do you mean? In her business? Yeah,
if she built a business. Yeah.
That's okay. But again, like she's not starting a male review. Like there's certain things I'm not allowing her to do. You're not allowing? Right. When I say allow, I don't mean like I own her. I mean allow without consequences.
I would say it's healthy to have boundaries. I mean, you have a boundary and you have expectations for your life.
Like if I come home and she's, blowing the neighbor, I'm out. She's not allowed to cheat. We're not in an open relationship. She can't even I mean, if again, I'm just a traditional old school type of guy. I am not a chauvinist. I don't think women are less than. I think actually the opposite. But women can build businesses, and I wouldn't say no if she wanted to, except for in stupid cases like, oh, she wants to build a male review. So now she's down there with all these strippers all night long and they're on a cruise this weekend. Pass.
I think that's very reasonable. And from the sounds of her, that would be the opposite of what she'd ever want. So
you know what she wants? You know what she wants? She said the other day, she's thinking about it. I'm getting her to think entrepreneurial. She says she wants to open a tea place.
Oh, yes. I love those.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, where like women go and eat little sandwiches and drink tea. And she's like, exactly. Because she's
no boys allowed.
Yeah, she's very feminine in that way. And I'm like, excellent. Now, see, let's go look for a building. Let's open you the best freaking tea joint in the freaking town.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for clarifying all of that. I think it's important that people know the whole picture about you and your beliefs, and the fact that everybody's different. So just not everybody's going to have the exact same boundaries as you, but we can all learn from you and appreciate your authenticity and how you don't compromise on those things.
Yeah, and it's just my opinion, my belief. Like you
Yeah.
can bring up, what do you think of Israel and Gaza and all this and all that, and it's just like,
Mhm.
listen, I'm not trying to get
Yeah.
canceled. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not trying to offend people, but if you ask me, killing's wrong on both sides. So Israel shouldn't be
Mhm.
bombing women and children. So
Right.
free Palestine. But on the other side, Hamas shouldn't be fucking with the Israelis. Like, why don't you all just both sit down and mind your business? Like,
Yeah.
that's my stance. So I'm not pro-Israel or against Israel. It's like, I'm pro-peace.
Mhm.
So again,
Yep.
I don't know where to stand on all these things other than the
Right.
truth. So to me, the truth is, I think Israel needs to stop bombing Gaza, and I think Gaza needs to stop, or not Gaza, but Hamas needs to stop, murdering Israelis. And then you get into,
Mhm.
well, that's a lie and that's conspiracy, and I don't know the truth, which is why I butt out. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. How am I
Mhm.
supposed to know? Epstein files. What do you think of those? Those need to be released. I don't think it's up to the government to redact and to hide, to
Right.
protect victims.
Transparent.
Victims, it's too late.
Transparency.
It's too late. You should have protected the victims before they became victims. Now that they're victims, they don't need protected, dude.
Mhm.
You need to release the damn fucking files and start hammering down on the people that committed the shit. But they don't
Yeah.
want to release those files. You know why? Because the people that we allow to lead us and the people that we've elected are more than likely the guilty parties.
Yeah.
And they know that if they release those files, the whole society would crash. So
Right.
they can't release those files because the top of the top are the ones out there diddling the kids.
Mhm.
And if
Yep.
that got out, society as we know would fall, because literally all the leadership would be corrupt. And again,
Mhm.
like, if you don't think there's corruption in government, you're crazy.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep.
So what does it boil down to? Because I know we can't be on here for hours. Is this the longest episode you've ever had?
It's one of the longest. Yes.
Yeah. So if someone said, Brad, what do you think we should do? That's why I'm saying,
Mhm.
be
Yeah.
kind,
Yep.
be generous, love on your family, build, provide, solve problems, help people until you die, because we're all going to die. And
Mhm.
read the Bible, you know how it ends. So no matter what
Yeah.
nonsense is going on, if you believe in the word, well, we know how it ends. So just be good, be kind, and
Yeah.
try to stay that way, because man,
Mhm.
the evil in the world is very influential,
Yep.
and sometimes, we're trying to be kind and we're trying to be generous, and our experiences, are trying to stop us from doing that.
Mhm.
And to me, it's like, that's the challenge. Like, how do you continue to remember it's just a choice, and you were given that
Yeah.
choice by the creator? And if you can remember that it's just a choice, and you start
Mhm.
becoming a better choice maker,
Yeah.
uh, your life will improve the second you begin. And that
Mhm.
includes little things. Choose how you react to anything and everything. Choose what you're eating. Choose what you're doing. Choose what you're reading. Choose who you're hanging out with. Choose who you're listening to. Like, those little baby choices, which are insignificant in and of themselves, are
Right.
literally what's causing you to lack everything that you feel you lack, and
Mhm.
ultimately to get everything you get. The choices you make
Yep.
determine the road you take. If you want something different, you have to think something different.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. Boom. One last question before we go, Brad.
Make
I
it
am
blunt. Make it blunt and good.
well, it's something that I'm looking forward to. It's not too terribly exciting necessarily, but in addition to everything you just said, with that being taken into account, for those that are building or buying or wherever they're at in the business space as business owners, what is in addition to that the most important piece of advice that you can think of your top piece of advice for business owners?
Well, again, I mean, it's going to sound cliche,
Yeah.
especially because I have a training platform that I've talked about several times, but my answer would be train your people. Train your people. Your people is what's going to allow you to grow and scale. So if you want to grow and scale any company, I say there's 7 things you got to look at. Number 1 is your vision. Your vision has to be so big, other people can fit their vision inside of it. So a lot of times people's visions aren't that big and they need to increase their vision to be able to fit other visions inside of theirs. Number 2 is the team. You have to have a team of people. You're not going anywhere by yourself. And those people are the hardest things to attract and develop. A team, a real team, right people in the right seats. Okay. And then aligned with that vision. And then you need your SOPs, the way you do things successfully, your systems, operating procedures. You have to have your SOPs and in a training system so that knowledge is easily transferable to your team, which is very important. So you have to have the SOPs in your training system. Then you need your lead acquisition model. You have to have customer flow. Okay. Then you need your sales process. You have to convert those customers. Then you need your KPIs. If you're not measuring it, you're not managing it. So you have to measure everything that matters. And then you need your feedback mechanism from internal and external, which is now I have a way that my customers reach me and give me feedback. And I know how my team reaches me and gives me feedback. So if you look at those 7 things, that's a vision, a team, your training, your leads, your sales, your KPIs, and your feedback. And if you take those 7 things and create a chart and check them off, do you have your vision? Is it big enough? Do you have your team in place? Because a lot of times you're not checking that box because you don't have your team. You got to build your team. You got to start attracting your team. Well, if you're going to attract your team, make sure you have a training system in place so they're not failing for 6 months and then quitting. You're going to run off the A players with confusion. A players don't run with turkeys. You know what I'm saying? You want to attract good people. Get your shit organized. If you follow those 7 things, your business will grow and scale as long as you put consistent effort and constantly be paying attention to those 7 things. You guys will be golden. That would be my best.
I love it. Thank you so much. I love your philosophy to take knowledge from those who have it to those who need it. And so thank you so much for being willing to do that today. So
it was fun.
All right. Well, everybody, follow Brad Lea. Instagram is The Real Brad Lea.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So give him a follow. And thank you so much for joining us on Dirt to Sky Business Podcast. Thank you to Empowered, Age Prepared, and Beautiful Blinds and Beyond.